buying your first home, or maybe it's been a while since your last purchase. Either way, the home buying process can feel overwhelming. But don't worry, I'm here to walk you through everything you need to know to make smart, confident decisions. So let's dive in. First thing, let's talk money. Before you fall in love with the perfect house, you need to know exactly what you can afford. Your lender will help you with this. They will work with you to get you pre-approved for the amount that you can afford based on your financial situation. Pre-approval means a lender has verified your income, credit, and assets. This gives you serious buying power and shows sellers you're committed. The real cost goes beyond the purchase price. You should allow roughly around 1% for closing costs. Now, the seller is responsible for the majority of the closing costs, usually such as title insurance, a survey, etc. But plan for around 1%. And your escrow officer and your real estate agent can help you with that. Now, you will be looking at what you want to do in terms of a down payment. And again, your lender can guide you on that. In the old days, it used to be around 20%, and that's just not the case anymore unless you really want to. You can do 10%, 5%, whatever you and your lender decide. If you're paying cash, then you'll provide a letter from your financial institution with your proof of funds. So the process can seem a bit daunting, but it's actually quite easy. And the team that you work with, your real estate broker, your lender, the title officer will all help you make sure that it's smooth and seamless. So now, when you're searching for homes, let's talk about neighborhoods. It's all about location, location, location. You may have found your dream home, but if you don't like the neighborhood, you're still not going to like it. So you need to look and see if the neighborhood is suitable for you. If you've got kids, it's access to the schools they're going to be going to, parks for you and your family, also commuting to work, all of that kind of stuff. You need to factor all of those things in, where grocery stores are, hospitals and entertainment. And another really important thing is you need to really look critically at the neighborhood. Are the other homeowners in the neighborhood keeping their houses up and maintaining their lawns? You don't want to be aggravated by being in a neighborhood where you don't feel people are doing things that are up to your standards. And then of course, look at the house itself to see, is it what you want it to be, or does it have the potential to be what you want to be with a future kitchen renovation or bathrooms or whatever. Remember, there really is no such thing as the perfect home or the perfect neighborhood. You want to get something that is as close to perfect as you can, but unless you're buying a brand new home and you're looking at older homes, there will be compromises that you'll need to make, and your real estate broker can help you weigh the benefits and the cons of each house. So once you've found your dream home and you've made an offer and it's been accepted, you need to then schedule with your realtor the inspections. It's critical to do thorough inspections. You never want to skip inspections, even if the house just looks absolutely perfect for you. In New Mexico, our inspectors are third parties and they're licensed, and they will do a thorough inspection from the roof to the exterior stucco, to the mechanical systems, the plumbing systems, foundations, everything from soup to nuts in the house, because you need that information in order to then determine if you want to proceed with the sale, and also knowing what to ask for from the seller, whether it's for repairs to be done or to get a credit towards the closing costs or a reduction in the sales price. It's really important to do that. And the main things that I always say you need to do are the general inspection, and be sure that the inspector that you're using has done a lot of inspections and has good reviews. I always think you need to do have a roof inspector come and take a look at the roof as well, because flat roofs, in Santa Fe we have a lot of flat roofs and they could be expensive to repair. Do a sewer scope, because you're responsible for the sewer line from the house down to the middle of the street, and you want to make sure that it doesn't have roots in it and that it's functioning well. A lot of people in this part of the world like to do radon tests, because we do have radon here, and so that could be serious. And then also looking for any issues with mold. Then In the negotiation process, you'll go back and forth with the seller to say, these are the things that we found. This is what is important to us that we would like to get remedied or financially compensated for. Generally, when you've got it in black and white from the inspection report, you can have a pretty successful negotiation with the seller, and that's when it's really important to have a good real estate broker too, who's going to go to bat for you. And remember that if things don't feel good to you during the inspection process, you can always terminate if you decide that the house is not right for you. When you're getting ready to make an offer or you're looking at houses, it's really important to know the type of market that you're in. And markets will vary across the country. And during COVID, it was totally a seller's market. Now, in most parts of the country, it's a balanced market between buyers and sellers. You want to make sure that you are getting the best price that you can for the house that you're purchasing, and also as a seller, the best price that you can get for selling. And so you want your real estate broker to pull data for you on sales activity for the last few months in that neighborhood for homes that are active, homes that are pending, and most importantly, homes that are closed, so you can see what homes are actually selling for in terms of the actual selling price versus the listing price. It's important to really do your homework on all of this so that you're not only just getting your dream home, but you're getting a home at a good price so that down the road when you go to sell it, you'll be able to sell it and in a period of time, after a few years, make a profit on it. And so remember the importance of picking the right real estate broker to represent you as a buyer's broker. Yes, there's a lot of information out there now that's great that you can get on your own through Zillow or some of the other sites, but you want a broker who really knows the market, who knows how to negotiate, who can really give you their critical opinions of the house itself and its resale value and whether or not there are issues with it that you really want to consider. And is giving you all the data that you need in order to make an intelligent, reasoned, and smart offer, and to negotiate with you and for you during the time period with the seller and the seller's broker. It's also important to pick a really good lender if you're doing a loan, and with all of these people you want to be looking at their reviews. Everybody's got reviews now on Yelp, they've got them on Google, they've got them on Realtor.com. So really look at all the reviews to pick the person or persons that are right for you. It is a stressful period to go through, and so you want to have somebody that you work with that you feel confident in, that you enjoy working with, and that puts you at ease as much as possible, and at the end of the day gets you the home that you want at the price that you want. So let's talk about the mistakes I see buyers make over and over again so you can avoid them. Emotional decision making. Don't fall in love with the first house you see. You may ultimately wind up buying that house, but you need to look at multiple houses so you can compare them and weigh the pros and the cons of both. Don't overstretch your budget. Just because you're approved for X doesn't mean you should spend X. And work with your broker to see if you can actually get the house for under the asking price. Don't skip the due diligence, as we've talked about. Research, do the inspections, also look at all the HOA documents, the title documents. You really want to be sure that you've done everything you can so that you get the home you want and that you can feel really good about all the process that you went through in purchasing that home. Now, if you're buying a home in Santa Fe, here are some things that you'll really want to be on the lookout for. We're called the city different for a reason, especially during the inspection process. Flat roofs, stuccos, radiant floors, evaporative coolers, water rights, title insurance. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll make, but with the right preparation and team, it doesn't have to be stressful. For example, on flat roofs, we've got plenty of flat roofs in Santa Fe. You want to make sure that the roof is sloping properly, that the materials are good, that there aren't any holes in it. When it comes to stucco, you want to make sure both aesthetically that the stucco looks good and there aren't cracks that are wide enough where water can get in. Radiant floors, you want to ask about the type of radiant system. There were two that were done in the 90s and 2000s that are no-nos called Kitec and Entran 2. And then you also want to be looking at things, especially if you're out in the outside of the city limits, you want to be looking at water rights. If there's a well, the well has to be inspected. If it's on a septic system, you want to make sure that the septic system is done correctly, because those things are really expensive to repair. The good news is that if you're working with experienced people here in the Santa Fe market, they'll know all these things and they'll be able to guide you easily through the process and help you find all the right sources, both to make repairs yourself if you decide to do that, or to be recommending to the seller during the negotiation process. Let's talk, once you've gotten through the pre-approval process, in terms of actually looking at homes. You're going to want to look at a lot of homes so that you can make sure that you've done your homework and that you find one that really suits you. Your perfect home or your dream home. And so let's start with that. There's no such thing as a perfect home. Unless you're buying a brand new home that suits everything that you want. An older house is going to have issues that you're going to have to deal with. First of all, and it's funny sometimes, I'll be working with buyers and they'll like, I don't like the color of the paint in that room. Well, guess what? You can paint it. You want to be looking at serious things like, does it have the number of bedrooms and the square footage that you need? Does it have room for a growing family, or is it too big or too small based on your needs? Does it have the type of yard that you want? Here, irrigation is expensive, and so you want to be looking at, is the house landscaped properly for irrigation? You also want to look at things like, okay, I don't love that kitchen, but can I live with it and then do renovations on it later? The same thing with bathrooms. And you also factor all of that into the price that is being asked, working with your broker to determine, is it a good price? Is there room for negotiation? And generally the answer is yes, there always is. So you need to be looking at the home with a critical eye, but also realizing that you're going to have to make some compromises along the way, and that ultimately, is it a house that you're going to feel good in, that you can grow into, and if necessary, customize the way that you'll want to down the road.